Not all Phrygians are created equal. In fact, most of the time when we say Phrygian, we should be saying Phrygian dominant. So if you know your modes, we got Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, the minor scale or Aeolian mode, natural minor scale, and Locrian. So it's kind of crazy that one scale has all these different sounds living in it. But the third one, Phrygian, there's a minor chord on the third note of the major scale. You may know that. 1, 2, 3. We got a major chord on the 1, a minor chord on the 2, and the 3 is also minor. And then the 4, you might better know that that's major. Okay? So if we had a Phrygian progression, we could say we have the 3 chord and then the 4 chord. The Phrygian scale would be... But that's not what we're thinking of when we usually say Phrygian. We're thinking of this sound. When we have two major chords right next to each other, one half step apart, one fret apart, kind of the instant Spanish sound. That's what a lot of people call Phrygian, but really it's not exactly Phrygian, right? Because this chord should be minor. A minor to B flat. That would truly be Phrygian. What's happening is this note is getting raised up, and that note is the same note that gets raised up in the harmonic minor scale. Let's look at the key and scale of A minor. There's an A minor chord, the notes are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, natural, okay? And then back to A. Well, that's called the natural minor scale. To get that Spanish sound, we raise up the 7th note, that's the harmonic minor scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's G becomes G sharp. And that means that the 5 chord, which could have been E minor, now is E major because the G is raised up. And that's that instant Spanish sound again. So there's two ways to get instant Spanishness, I would say. A minor to E major, or better yet, E7. That didn't change anything. By making this E major and E dominant 7th, all I did was include a D, which is in the scale anyway. It creates more tension on the chord, and it wants to resolve more than if it weren't a dominant 7th chord. That's the harmonic minor scale. Now if we stayed on that chord though, let's just call this the 1. And now we have F, that was in there, right? Might even have G. This is a violation already, right? Why? How can a G be in here? I thought all the G's were sharp. That's what's weird about a lot of these Spanish progressions, and even the Andalusian cadence itself. It already has a mixture of scales in it. A minor, G, that's natural minor scale, that's not harmonic. Then F, and then E, that's the harmonic minor scale. But as you know, or probably have heard, a lot of songs will treat that as the 1 chord, and that means that we're playing the harmonic minor scale starting on the 5. But what if you didn't do that? What if you played the Andalusian cadence without a major chord at the end? A minor, G, F. In some ways that sounds a little more refreshing, because if you've been listening to classical guitar, Spanish guitar, flamenco for a really long time, it's cool and it's great, but you know, things get predictable like they always will, you know? So it's kind of refreshing sometimes to hear this, maybe in a soleá. I think that sounds pretty cool. In fact, in more modern flamenco, that final resting chord of E could end up being an E sus chord with an F in it, with a flat 9. And now we don't know if it's major or minor, so that solves the problem of making it sound too monotonous. Every time we always go back to the Phrygian dominant sound. Remember, Phrygian dominant is the 5th mode of the harmonic minor scale. I've got a bunch of nylon string guitar based courses talking about music theory, technique stuff, different styles, all kinds of stuff over at theversatileguitarist.com. Check out my courses on the courses page, theversatileguitarist.com/courses. Love Song by The Cure is a great song, and it does that progression, which appears to be what we might think is the Andalusian cadence, but without that Phrygian dominant chord at the end. types of Phrygian. Both sound great. Phrygian dominant and what we could call the true Phrygian. I think that sounds really beautiful. I like to do it the other way around too, like F to E minor. I have some of my own original songs where I do that a lot. So when you hear that Spanishy sound, two things may be happening, which are really just kind of the same thing, just with a different reference point. One of them is the harmonic minor scale, and the other is Phrygian dominant, which are the same notes, just starting on the 1 with a harmonic minor scale, starting on the 5 for Phrygian dominant. In fact, that's what the word dominant means. It means 5, the 5th scale degree. The weird thing though is that it's dominant, but now we're calling that, instead of the 5, we call it the 1. You can always call anything the 1 and make that your home base. So that's what we really should be calling that Spanishy sounding Phrygian. Rather than just Phrygian, we should technically call it Phrygian dominant. So next time you want to annoy your music friends and they call it Phrygian, say, "Don't you mean Phrygian dominant?" You'd like to hear some more nylon string guitar based music theory musings? Well, check it out right here.